What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Support Group Gaming. I am a therapist to games, and today, with the recent release of the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is a sequel to the Final Fantasy VII Remake, I wanted to go ahead and take a look at what a Parasite Eve remake would look like. But before we do that, if you guys can do me a huge favor and hit that like and subscribe button, because my philosophy is if you enjoy the vibe, why not like and subscribe? Now, let's get into it. Parasite Eve is a JRPG semi-action type of game that came out in 1998 following the success of Squaresoft's 1997 release of Final Fantasy VII. Now, what this game was Squaresoft's kind of foot in the door with what was going on with Resident Evil and the success of Resident Evil 2. And so Squaresoft decided, you know what, let's go ahead and make our own survival horror-ish type of game, but this is more of a horror RPG type of game. And so, if you're watching this video, you already know the story of Parasite Eve and everything. So what I wanted to talk about was what a remake would look like. Now, I know there has been a lot of conversation about, Squaresoft, which is now known as Square Enix, not relicensing the rights to Parasite Eve, which was a game. I'm sorry, which was originally a novel, and Squaresoft went ahead and licensed the rights to the game. I'm sorry, the rights to the book, so that they can make the game, and basically, took the elements of the story. However, Squaresoft came up with, Aya Brea, which is the main protagonist, and some of the side characters. Now, the reason why I started to think about a Parasite Eve remake is because of how well done the Final Fantasy VII remake and rebirth has been, just in terms of the way the original story was retold, in essence. With Final Fantasy VII remake, they took the original story elements and added and subtracted and kind of did things a little differently, and the way they did it was very genius in terms of introducing this new concept when it comes to Final Fantasy VII as the Whisperers, that are kind of like shaping time, or the universe or whatever. So the reason why I bring that up is because, with the simple fact that Square it doesn't seem like they want to re-license the game, they can figure out a way to retell the story and tell it differently than they told it back in the day. And so one of the concepts that I thought about was potentially just changing the name of the game altogether, and instead of calling it Parasite Eve, just call the game Eve. Or, when it came to part 3 of the series, they changed the name to The Third Birthday. And if you're a Parasite Eve fan, you know about The Third Birthday. So then why not call it The First Birthday? PE, The First Birthday, or something that the fans know it would be Parasite Eve. They don't, like I said, they don't, because of that whole whisperer concept, they can tell that story a little differently, so that it does not interfere with whatever licensing stuff that's happening. And so what we're looking at right now, if you look at the gameplay right now, like I said, this is an RPG, JRPG, where the combat is set up in a way that you're able to run around as your active timer fills up, and then you're able to attack. So it has an element of turn-based combat with live real-time movement, so the reason why I said Final Fantasy VII is such a strong source of this idea is because if we take a look right here, if we take a look at the way Final Fantasy VII's combat was redone, based on what you just saw with Aya, the way she was attacking her enemies, it's done the exact same way in the Final Fantasy VII remake. You know, the main character's running around, all of a sudden ends up in a battle sequence where you're in the battle and you're able to move around freely and attack as your turn-based, timer fills up. And so it is the exact same concept. And I said to myself, they can remake Parasite Eve with the exact same type of combat and it would work completely. And so, like I said, they could definitely just change the name of the game. According to the research that I did, the main character's name, which is Aya Brea, is, belongs to Square Enix. So there is no problem when it comes to the names of the characters and this and that. The only difference is they'd have to change the name and make it so that it isn't too much like the original. And I think fans would love it because we understand why it can't be perfect, one to one. But with today's technology and the way that game was made and the setting and the way they did New York, this game definitely deserves some type of remake, and Square has to, be creative and figure out a way to get that done. But guys, I'm curious to know what you guys' thoughts are. Do you guys feel like if Square used the same engine that they used Final Fantasy VII, do you think that would make a great Parasite Eve remake? And like I said, they can just either call the game just Eve, or they can call it The First Birthday, or Eve, Aya's journey, Aya's story, something like that. So guys, let me know what you guys think, and I look forward to reading the comments, and I'll see you guys next time here at Support Group Gaming. If you've gotten to this point of the video, I truly appreciate you. That means you really rock with me, and I will see you guys next time. And until then, take care of yourself. Peace.